It's vitally important that we maintain righteous influence on our next generations so that if and when we go into the ark, they can go in with us. Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, day number 3, the Torah portion, Noach. Let's continue now in this episode, this flood narrative. Genesis, Bereshit, chapter 7, verse 1 says, And Yahweh said to Noach, Come into the ark, you and all your household, because I've seen that you are righteous before me in this generation. And then it says in verse 5 and following, And Noach did according to all that Yahweh commanded him. Now Noach was 600 years old when the floodwaters were on the earth. And Noach and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives went into the ark because of the waters of the flood. So we find then at the end of the previous chapter, or chapter 5 actually, verse 32, Noach was 500 years old, and Noach brought forth Shem, Ham, and Japheth. So at some point in his 500-year span, Noach brings forth these 3 sons, and they are raised in the generation of great evil, great wickedness, and they choose to maintain a walk similar, at least, to their father Noach. Noach is evidently, as a Sadiq, a righteous man. He is exercising enough righteous influence upon his sons and their wives and his wife that Yah allows them to go into the ark with their father, with her husband. It would seem then that for the majority then of these 100 years interim between the time that they were born and Noach went onto the ark, we don't know how much of that time, but they were mainly involved then in the ark building enterprise. We need to teach our children, our grandchildren, the ark building enterprise. That is, following the detailed plans of the Most High to construct the community life, the social order, the Torah adherence, the principles, the commands, the instructions and teachings of Yeshua given to us in the Torah, so as then to present for us or preserve for us a place of safety. As I said yesterday, Yah did not take Noach out of the tribulation of the flood, but he took him through it. There are many who are still teaching that we're going to escape tribulation. I, for one, believe that we're going to be brought through it. And some might surmise, well, it's going to be such a time of horror and great trial that no one would survive it that is righteous. I beg to differ. I believe that just as Yah preserved Israel in the wilderness and Noach and his family in a time of flood, as he preserved Abraham through his many trials, as he brought David, the king, through all of his situations, he is more than able, more than capable of providing a place of safety and safekeeping for us. In the book of Luke, chapter number 17, we read the words of Yeshua, and he says in verse 26, And it shall, as it came to be in the days of Noach, shall it be in the days of the son of Adam. They were eating, they were drinking, they were marrying, they were given in marriage until the day that Noach went into the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all. That tells me that there is going to be a semblance of normalcy even into the day of Messiah. While there are those that are going to be full adherence to whatever the anti-Messiah spirit and mechanisms and order has in store, those days will come. And we also understand that not everybody is going to fall under that sway. Not everyone is going to yield. There are those that will stand, that will resist, and do so successfully. The Spirit of Yah will enable them to do so. It says in 2 Kepha, chapter number 2, and verse number 5, and he says, He did not spare the world of old, but preserved Noach, a proclaimer of righteousness, and 7 others, bringing in the flood on the world of the wicked. Wrath has not been reserved for us. But that doesn't mean that trial and testing has not been reserved for us. There's going to be a proving. We find in the book of Matthew, chapter number 7, verse 21 and following, that there are those that will say, Master, Master, we've done all of these great things in your name. And he will say, I don't know you. Could it be that he doesn't know them because although they claimed him, they failed the test? To enter into Yeshua's ark, a place of the Spirit that will safeguard and keep and provide a means of escape or a means of endurance, doesn't mean that we don't have test or trial. We may be pushed, we may be shoved, we may even be martyred and give our own lives for that which we know to be true. Is there anything greater of value that is worth dying for? And so if we pass from this life, we know that we have a place in Messiah and with Messiah, that if we suffer with him, we will also rule and reign with him. So there's nothing to be afraid of. Noach and his family were not afraid of the flood. Why? Well, they had obeyed and they had built what was an incredible accomplishment. It was no small feat for them to build and construct this vessel. And I'm sure that when the flood waters were coming upon the earth and the heavens were opened, that they were remembering the integrity with which they built. Let's make it plain and simple. When you are building an ark, when you are building that which you are going to lean on and trust upon to get you through, you don't want to cut corners. You don't want to use cheap materials because it saves you $1. You want to build the most, You want to build the greatest accomplishment that you can with the most integrity that you can, because that's what's going to see you through. These sons could lay down and sleep at night knowing we built this boat well. We followed the instructions to the full. We put pitch on the outside and on the inside. We sealed every crevice. There's not a place on this vessel that is of question because we did it right. There's something about doing things right. It's more than a sense of satisfaction of a job well done. It's that you know that it's going to last. I watched the construction crew build the home that I'm sitting in right now. My wife Laura and I have been in this house for 25 years. And there's been high wind storms that have come through. There have been some testing of the cold and of the heat. But the house stands. I watched the builders build this house, and I know that they didn't cut corners. They didn't just put plywood in the corners of the house and then a mere blackboard everywhere else. They wrapped this house in wood all the way around. And they put plenty of nails in the house. And they built it and built it well. They used good, skilled labor. And I'm thankful that the Father has put a good roof over our heads. And I can trust in that. I don't believe that the house is going to fall down around my ears. When we build for the kingdom, build your best. Pray your best. Train your next generations the best that you can. Give them all that they need to know. Don't cut corners. Don't waste time. Don't leave out the details. Everything's important. And it's important that I see you again tomorrow. I hope to do so. Until then, shalom.